Welcome from Davos 2017, and I'm joined here today with my good colleague Ashok Vaswani from Barclays. Ashok is the Chief Executive of Barclays in the UK and has responsibility for retail, for business banking, for wealth management, and for the card business in the UK. And our subject in our discussion is on the digital transformation of banking. Barclays is a leader in the UK with many of its digital programs and is well known amongst its customer base for its Digital Eagles initiative, helping customers better understand how they can use digital to get better banking services. And he's very much leading the way. So Ashok, the theme here this year is about responsible business and responsible and responsive leadership. And you're certainly leading in the UK with digital transformation and the new services that are required by customers. What are your key priorities around this?
Yeah. So Richard, first of all, thank you. Great to catch up with you as always. Our business, we've been on this digital transformation for the last 3 or 4 years. And the way we're thinking about it is that digital is going to change everything. Frankly, the digital revolution is bigger than the industrial revolution or the agricultural revolution that came before it. And therefore, when we think about it end to end, right? Right from teaching kids coding in our branches every evening to our life skills program. 3.5 million young adults have gone through our life skills program, which helps people move from the school way to the work environment. Then the Digital Eagle program, which you obviously referred to, leveraging technology to help people with vulnerabilities and disabilities. In the UK, the fastest growing age segment is the plus 68 segment, and automatically, these things kind of come along. Technology for the sake of technology is interesting, but technology that truly helps people get over these and be independent is a big deal. Leveraging technology for small businesses to helping them grow, and leveraging the power of information to help large companies grow, right? This time around, we are committed to leaving no one behind. It's a pretty fundamental transformation of the entire business.
That's pretty amazing, and that really fits with the discussion this week. Because a big part of the discussion is that tech is obviously advancing incredibly quickly. I mean, we're kind of moving on to talk about the next waves of artificial intelligence and blockchain, many panels on that. But people are concerned about whether we've got the skills in society for those jobs in the future, and as technology augments work. But people we're also finding are pretty excited about what digital means for their jobs, enriching their work and making lives easier. What do you think that is required in the economy? What do you think the UK government, the UK education system should be doing? You're obviously doing a lot with your customer base, but do you think that we have the right educational systems in place?
So, Richard, actually, we ran a very good kind of research report in about 12 countries, including some of the digital tigers, as we call them, places like Estonia and obviously the Scandinavian countries, obviously the United States, China, India, the UK, and stuff like that. And it was a research that kind of said across 2 dimensions. One is, what are the policy dimensions that the government needs to put into place to make sure that digital kind of takes on, right? And the other one was, are the people of that country really leveraging digital to the extent they could?
Yeah.
UK did pretty well, came out about 4th, but the speed at which things are changing is just so dramatic. I mean, Estonia is using blockchain to do voting. So the general elections are using blockchain. I mean, just a couple of months ago, maybe on November the 7th actually, the Prime Minister of India gets up and completely demonetizes cash and wants everything to shift to digital payments, right? So things are moving so fast, we've got to keep pace with this. If we don't keep pace with this, we will fall behind. This is right from changing the education system. In the good old days, at least when I was studying, you studied for 25 years and you hoped that knowledge kept you going for 50 years. That equation is over. There has to be a constant re-innovation, a constant reimagining of skills, a constant re-education that has to happen. And governments would have to start thinking about what are the rules, regulations, policies that they kind of put into place to facilitate these things. This is a dialogue that has to happen with the nation. And ultimately, things like cybersecurity, data privacy, these are things that we'll have to kind of start talking about, but we've got to do it really quickly, Richard.
And you've spoken about digital to provide differentiation in customer relationships. That's very much the strategy at Barclays. That's what you want to achieve with this technology. So talk to me a little bit about how you achieve that differentiation, how that's working.
Richard, completely right? I mean, look, at the end of the day, digital is not just about taking what you're doing in the physical world and putting on digital. You guys, have taught us all of that, and you guys will teach a lot more companies that, right? So the question is, what does this new technology allow to happen? And in this new technology, it's really all about connectedness, right? And connectedness is a big deal. So in any person's life, for example, there are not more than maybe 12 or 15 very significant moments, right? First time you go to college, you buy a car, you get married, you have kids, retirement, second home. And
Yeah.
I'm at 7 and I've kind of run out, but you can think of 5 or 6 more. Can for each of these moments, can we create an entire ecosystem, right? So for example, let's take a very simple case of buying a car. With propensity modeling, I can know when Richard is in the market to buy a car. Knowing a little bit about Richard, I know exactly what car he would like. Maybe he loves the Jaguar Land Rover, right? And so because Jaguar Land Rover is a client of mine, I can sell Jaguar Land Rover. Here is a client who I think will really love your car. Give him a free test drive. When you drive the car, then I say, by the way, Richard, if you want it, I give you the loan, I do the insurance. By the way, your papers are all filed on Cloudit, which is our internal cloud for customers. By the way, AA is a client of ours, they'll give you 10% off. By the way, Black Tie is another client of ours, they'll take care of all your retreading. We can basically create an entire ecosystem which makes your life much, much, much easier.
You've obviously learned a lot over the last few years. You've learned, you will have made some mistakes, I'm sure, and you'll have had some good successes. What do you think are the big lessons learned in your digital transformation? Give me maybe one or two.
Yeah. So I think you're absolutely right. We've learned a lot. I personally have made enough mistakes. I think that this digital transformation is more about moving the mindset of the organization, right? A lot of people think about this as throwing money at technology or adopting the new technology. I don't think that's it. I think the real secret sauce is how do you move the mindset of the organization? If you can move the mindset of the organization, then it becomes much, much, much easier to do. That's why the Digital Eagles program, I think, has been so rewarding as far as we are concerned. The other thing which is becoming, amply clear to me now, which was not clear even maybe 12 or 18 months ago, is that you can't pursue a digital program without having a data program sit solidly behind it, right? Without the data, your ability to deliver digitally or deliver a new business model just doesn't happen. And I think these are two big learnings that come to mind right away.
Now, at Accenture, we're always looking for what is the next wave of tech. We don't want to be too far in advance, but we need to get it about right. So we have focused at the moment on 3 strategic growth initiatives for the next wave: artificial intelligence, blockchain, and virtual reality. What do you think of those 3 technologies? Are you starting to look at those today and use those today?
So, Richard, as you know, we do a lot of work together, and therefore it's no surprise that we think about it pretty much as you guys do. We are more focused on artificial intelligence and blockchain. We've tried a lot with artificial intelligence, right? It's very, very appealing at its, at its concept. But frankly, we've struggled with it. We haven't really come out. The technology hasn't evolved to the sense that lives up to the promise. I'm sure it'll get there, but as of today, I don't think it's there. So we're continuing to kind of work with artificial intelligence and see what are the places that we can deploy it, how do we test, how do we learn. Blockchain, very interesting. One small company called WEF, which was actually on our accelerator, we actually did the first trade transaction on blockchain ever to be done in the world. A company in Seychelles in the UK. Again, blockchain, I think the protocols will grow, but it's not going to take center of stage in the same way as AI, because blockchain is going to be internal, and it's really going to just speed up processing internal to the company. But I think these 2 areas are very, very, very interesting. I look forward to working with you on these 2 areas.
Thank you. And we've just come from the British Business Leaders Lunch and listened to the UK Finance Minister talk about 2017, the economy, and Brexit. What are your predictions for 2017? Perhaps,
my God.
perhaps with more a little bit of a tech slant in terms of what is going to be happening. What is Barclays going to be focused on in 2017?
So look, I think between us, I would say I've been in Barclays now 7 years. I feel really optimistic. Maybe I feel the most optimistic today than I've felt in a long period of time. It's been a period of intense change at Barclays. It's been a period of intense heavy lifting at Barclays. But I'm feeling really, really good about where we are at Barclays. We've simplified the company considerably. We've got a narrative around being the transatlantic bank because we say the people who are looking to get capital or deploy capital essentially come to London and New York. And we are nicely based in both of them. We've got a very deep-rooted retail business and a card business in the UK. We're building some great assets there. Our ability to take those assets to the United States at some stage could be a very interesting kind of play. So feeling really, really good about where the company is. Now, not entirely done, always a lot more to do, but feeling good about where we are. The UK, Brexit was a big event, obviously. Things would never happen off a cliff like we were chatting. The pound has actually dropped virtually off a cliff, but others have not gone off of the cliff. Looking very carefully at the economy and what the implications are. Clearly, inflation will kind of step in. Yep. What that means for interest rates, what that means for household debt, and things like that. What does that mean for unemployment? So cautiously optimistic is what I would say going into 2017 for the UK. A little more bullish on the US. The regulatory environment there with Trump seems to be kind of easing up a little bit. So on balance, cautiously optimistic.
And lastly, Ashok, we're very thankful for our relationship with Barclays. What advice would you have for us and our people who may be watching today in terms of providing service to the clients?
Yeah. So obviously we value the relationship a lot. I think we work as a company really well. We've got connects at many points. We obviously would like you to do more business with us. But I think there's a real value not only in doing this on a kind of project basis, but really keep lifting it to a more strategic level. I think we've started taking steps in that direction in 2016, and I think there's an opportunity to do more in that regard. We really value some of the thinking that you bring to the table, and some of the work that your folks are doing, your colleagues are doing. So a big thank you from me and a big thank you from Barclays.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And it's great to talk with you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ashok.
Very nice to meet you again.
Thanks.